Welcome to IGCSE English as Second Language. This is Paper 2, 0510 or 0511 Extended Tire. This is a reading and writing exam which is going to be about 2 hours long. The first exercise on this exam is the basic reading comprehension activity. You're given a text in the shape of an article, a blog, or a web page to read. And it is followed by about 9 questions. Make sure that the answers for those questions are short, brief, and to the point. The answers could be a word or a phrase. Sentences are not needed. You also have to show understanding of what the writer of the text has implied as well as the factual details. You have about 13 marks for this exercise. This is how it looks like on exam. You're given a text on the first page and it is followed by about 9 questions on the opposite page. This is a reading activity, so you can use either skimming and scanning method or a traditional reading and answering the questions method. But no matter what method you use, make sure you spend 10 to 15 minutes on this particular activity. Time is going to be a key element. If you want to get good marks on this exam, you need to manage your time well. If you're going to use skimming and scanning method, step 1 is going to be reading all the questions carefully, understanding them, and then underlining the keywords. You also focus on the question words in each question. Whatever method you use, make sure you read all the questions first and then the text. Why I recommend this is that you need to give your brain some sort of a target. So what happens is that when you have read all the questions and then you go and read the text, while reading the text, if something important comes up, something that is related to those questions, your mind, your brain is going to prompt you to stop there because it's going to be something important and answer to one of those questions, So I recommend you read the questions first. Next, we have 2 example questions here. So let's see how we underline the keywords and circle those question words too. The keywords are some sort of clue words, When you skim the text for those keywords, they are going to take you to the correct answer. In this case, the unique words that I'm going to underline will be space mission. And the next one, heartbeat. So what we're going to do, we go to the text, we skim for these words. Once we have found them, we will scan around them. But first, we also have to circle the question words so we know what type of answer is needed. What was Neil Armstrong's role? What role? So we need a name here. When did Armstrong's heart beat fastest? We need the time, the duration. Let's go on. So we need to skim the text to find the keywords, scan around the keywords to get the precise answer, and we write our answer as brief as possible. Here we go. This is the article. Part of the article, the footsteps of an astronaut. And these were the questions. We underlined space mission. We underlined heartbeat. Then we also circled the question words. And here we go. When you skim the text quickly, in the second paragraph, in the first column, we found space mission. Next, we scan around the keywords. Let's go on and read it. Neil Armstrong was the commander of the Apollo 11 spacecraft on the most daring space mission of the 20th century. Wait there, I think we got the answer. So the role was commander. That's really precise, but there's something more important with it. Let's see if we can do it. Here we go. I'm going to write my answer as brief as possible, to the point. Commander of Apollo 11. I don't have to write a sentence. Some students might write a sentence. For example, they might write, he was the commander of the Apollo 11 spacecraft on the most daring space mission of the 20th century. Well, that's going to be too long. Well, there is a likely chance that you'll get the mark for that. It's that answer too, but basically you're wasting a lot of time. Time is going to be the key element, as I earlier said. Let's move on to the next one. The next one, I need to find heartbeat. Uh, all the answers are in chronological order, except for the last question. So this is going to be very easy. So I'm going to find the answer to number 2 after the first one. Let me find heartbeat. And here we go. I got the heart there. Let me scan around it. So if I scan around it, that's going to be somewhere. It says during the launch phase of Apollo 11. Oh, that is the answer, because during that time, that particular time, his heart reached a top rate of 110 beats per minute. We go on and write the answer. During the launch phase of Apollo 11. The reason that I wrote off Apollo 11 in parentheses is because it's optional. Even if you miss it, don't write it, you will still get the mark. So that's it. Let's continue. Let's see what's coming up next. We have a few questions. They need more than one detail. So in that case, I need to make it very obvious for the examiner to understand that this is my first point, this is my second point, and so on and so forth. Let's see how we can do it. Question 5 usually is going to ask you for more than one detail. So if I'm going to write 2 details and I can see that the exam has 2 lines provided here. And number 9, which is going to be the most challenging question on this activity. And I told you that the answer to number 9 will be scattered in the text. It's not going to be in one place. You need to understand it well. So let's go on. I'm going to number my first detail. Then I'm going to number the second detail as well. Collected samples of rock and moon dust in this situation. Conducted scientific experiments. And then if I go on to number 9, pretty good. First detail coming up, courageous. Second detail coming up, not emotional. 3, sense of pride was there. Or modest. He was modest. I don't have to write sentences. I have to write my answers as brief as possible. Or if you don't want to use the numbers, you may want to use some sort of bullet points, an arrow, dots, or check marks, or the ones that I have used here. That concludes exercise 1. Practice as much as possible. Thank you.